the Hunter laptop story, big news. In fact, it was one of the biggest questions that Jenn Psaki got yesterday. In fact, it was two of the biggest questions that Jenn Psaki got yesterday. And you know, it was a very bad day for her because she came out in her green peppermint Psaki garb. She was all ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. But because of this Hunter Biden story, her favorite holiday was thwarted. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick off today by hitting the sack.
Hit the sack!
All righty, Rudy. So here's how this works out. Back in 2020, the New York Post got their hands on the Hunter Biden laptop via Rudy Giuliani. It was abandoned at a repair shop, and when Rudy Giuliani got a copy of the hard drive and sent it over to the FBI, they did nothing. But the New York Post actually did some investigating. They found photos of Hunter Biden with various hard candies on other hard objects. They found photos and evidence of him texting back and forth with Russian prostitutes and escorts, potentially using a credit card that he shared with his father, then Vice President of the United States, to pay said prostitutes. But the big news was we found information about his dealings with Ukraine and China and Moscow and the Bobulinskis and all these other people that would lead us to believe that his father, Vice President Joe Biden, presidential candidate at the time, had not only helped Hunter Biden establish relationships with foreign leaders, but had also personally profited from sharing secrets and state information and really creating relationships for his own financial benefit and that of his family. Everybody that read this thing in the New York Post and the mainstream media called it false. They called it a lie. Jenn Psaki herself even came out and, well, she said this to Peter Doocy when asked about it.
The president has said, and you have tweeted, that allegations of wrongdoing based on files pulled from Hunter Biden's laptop are Russian disinformation. There's a new book by a Politico reporter that finds some of the files on there are genuine. Is the White House still going with Russian disinformation?
I think it's broadly known and widely known, Peter, that there was a broad range of Russian disinformation back in 2020.
Okay, so there you go. That was earlier this year when Laptop from Hell was released, saying back in 2020 it was all Russian disinformation. Joe Biden, when he was arguing with Donald Trump on the stage during the campaign, he called it trash or garbage or something like that.
There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani. So it's a bunch of garbage, according to these 50 top security officials. You may remember the letter. In fact, if you don't remember the letter, don't worry, because I have it here in my hands. It was dated October 19th, 2020. Jim Clapper, former director of national intelligence. Mike Hayden, former director of the CIA. John Brennan, former director of the CIA. Thomas Finger, former National Intelligence Council chief. Moore, acting CIA director. The CIA has a real credibility problem. They must be one of the most incredible, and by I mean not credible, organizations we have next to CNN and MSNBC. I mean, it is uncanny that 50 of these former security chiefs signed a letter saying that this is Russian disinformation, that Joe Biden got up there and said it's Russian disinformation, that Jenn Psaki tweeted out it's Russian disinformation. And now that the New York Times has verified the New York Post story, the existence of the emails, and that the laptop is credible and that federal prosecutors and investigators are using it to delve into Hunter Biden's purported tax problems, now that all of that's happening, it's really interesting how they no longer want to call it Russian disinformation. Yesterday in the press briefing in her St. Patrick's green, Peppermint Psaki was asked about the Hunter Biden laptop once again, and listen to what she said.
The New York Times has authenticated emails that appear to have come from a laptop abandoned by Hunter Biden in Delaware. The president previously said that the New York Post story about this was a bunch of garbage and that it was a Russian plant. Does he stand by that assessment?
I'd point you to the Department of Justice and also to Hunter Biden's representatives. He doesn't work in the government.
No, he does not work in the government, but the question was about President Biden, who does work in the government, in fact, is the leader of the government, and he's the one that said it was total garbage. We just played you that clip. It's total garbage. It's him and his friend Rudy Giuliani is what he said. And now we're getting questions about it. What does the president think? I'm sorry, Hunter Biden doesn't work for the United States government. Later in the same press briefing, another reporter asked about her very own comments.
You asked about Hunter Biden's laptop. You also, in October 2020, dismissed it as Russian disinformation. Do you stand by that assessment?
Again, I'd point you to the Department of Justice and Hunter Biden's representatives. I'm a spokesperson for the United States. He doesn't work for the United States.
Right, but you do. And as a spokesperson for the United States of America, you said on that very platform, at the very podium, and on Twitter that clearly Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo. Dozens of former intel officials say. Now that you're being asked about your comments as an employee of the government, now that you're being asked about Joe Biden's comments as an employee of the government, why is it that it's no longer for you to talk about? When you were dismissing it, it was great. It was news, news, news. But now that it's been found to be true and that you've lied and that the big guy has lied, no, you know what? I'm gonna have to tell you to go talk to the DOJ. Hunter Biden doesn't work for us. Yeah, he works for China.